Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to chat about one of the hottest topics in Web3 development, which is gas abstraction. And joining us in this conversation is William. William is a developer at Pimlico, a leading smart account infrastructure platform designed for developers looking for tools to scale their decentralized applications. Pimlico is bringing the amazing gas sponsorship program to the Etherlink network, allowing developers to sponsor gas for users of their application. Now, let's head over to the chat with William to learn about all things gas sponsorship and gas abstraction. So, hey, William, for developers who are hearing about Pimlico for the very first time, what is a quick 90-second pitch that you can give to them?
Yeah, for sure. So at Pimlico, we kind of deal with the whole account abstraction stack. And just to give like a very quick rundown, so AA, specifically the A that we work with, is with the ERC 437, and it's basically just a standard that standardizes ways that accounts should look. And if you have a account that it has certain interfaces, you can kind of plug and play into this 437 ecosystem. And this ecosystem, it kind of gives you access to things like transaction relaying, gas sponsorships, and also things like setting how you want your account to look. So this could be some certain like account specific logic or some certain ways of signing your accounts like passkeys and these sort of things. At Pimlico, what we do is that we basically provide all of the infra to kind of facilitate this whole ecosystem. So that basically means our bundler and paymaster. And with this bundler, you can kind of use it to relay these meta transactions called user operations, which will originate from these accounts. And then also have access to our paymaster, where you can kind of sponsor transactions on your user's behalf. At least the way that Pimlico has been designed is that it's very dev friendly. So we have a lot of docs, and our dashboard has a lot of like metrics so that you can very easily track like usage and also things like debugging, which definitely does make your life as a dev like much easier.
Thanks. And that's a fantastic overview. Can you speak a little bit about what gap in the market specifically that Pimlico is aiming to solve, and how this also helps people or also helps blockchain developers in general?
Yeah, for sure. So right now, there's like a lot of crypto apps, and kind of like to basically onboard onto a crypto app, there's quite a lot of like overhead that you kind of have to overcome. So things like having a wallet ready or having things like gas to kind of like interact with the app. So with account abstraction, you can kind of like abstract these things away and kind of make it easier for people to use your application. So you can have things like sign in with email and sign in with passkey, and also have your app designed such that the user does not have to think about gas at all. And this kind of like benefits for quite a few different use cases, but a couple that come to mind is like more of these social apps or more of these like maybe crypto games or stuff like there's a couple also like DeFi portfolio management and these things that can also benefit from this.
Amazing. And thank you for sharing that. I mean, like our users already know or our viewers already know, Etherlink is a scalable layer 2 EVM compatible chain. And we already offer like super low transaction fees on Etherlink. So why would a developer building on Etherlink still want to do something like gas sponsorship and gas abstraction for users of their own dApp?
Yeah, for sure. It at least with gas abstraction and kind of like gas sponsorships, it just abstracts away that like step of like having to kind of like find a way to kind of fund your account. You can kind of skip this step completely and just have your users like start interacting with your dApp like straight away without having to go through the step of like bridging funds and then converting to the native gas token. You can kind of skip all of this. And it's especially quite nice for chains with like super low gas fees because the overhead for the developers as well is like not that high. So it's quite
Yeah.
beneficial for all parties.
Mhm. No, that makes complete sense. Because the fees are already low, so by abstracting away the gaps as well, you're only bearing just a little bit of the cost as well for users on the other side. So basically, they can get into your application super quickly and they can start using it straight away rather than thinking about how they can afford gas fees. So yeah, that's super helpful. I think the next question I'm going to ask you is, what are the other products or tools that Pimlico offers? So we've spoken about gas abstraction. I think we've spoken about account abstraction a little bit as well. What other kind of tooling does Pimlico offer out of the box?
Yeah, the whole platform is mainly built around AA. So just to give a quick rundown, so the bundler, and then we also have a paymaster. The paymaster supports both like verifying paymaster and also ERC20 paymaster. And yeah, verifying is basically you can kind of pay for transactions using your off-chain balance. So basically like Pimlico credits. Besides these two, we also have a SDK permissionless.js, and this SDK is designed to be very like non-vendor lock-in. So you can very easily just like integrate it if you want to change any parts of the stack. So for example, the bundler paymaster or account implementation, you can very quickly change these. And yeah, by using permissionless.js, you're not locked into a certain vendor. It's very easy to change things if you ever have this in the future. I would say the other aspect is mainly just the whole like Pimlico dashboard, because it gives you like full insight into how much like how many user ops are being sponsored, like how much the sponsorship costs, and also things like debugging. So if a user op ever fails, you can very quickly like debug and find the exact reason for this, and this kind of like closes the dev loop where you can quickly iterate things without it being like a super burden to just iterate.
Nice. So you've touched on developers getting started now with Pimlico's Paymaster. So if I'm a developer on Etherlink, which I am, and I wanted to get started using gas sponsorship for my decentralized application today, what would be the next step for me practically? So if I wanted to get started using Pimlico, what would the next step look like?
So we have a couple like docs to kind of like walk you through basically how to go from like zero to your first sponsored transaction. And yeah, the code is like very, very minimal. I would definitely recommend just going through these tutorials, mainly just because it's just very easy going from like nothing to sponsored transaction. And other than that, it's just a matter of like signing up to the dashboard and you already have access to basically everything. So yeah, just signing up to dashboard, getting an API key, and then just plugging it into the SDK, and you can start sponsoring transactions.
Amazing. And does this support like any language out of the box?
Right now we've seen that most people, because it's like targeting more like front end dApps, the SDK is written in TypeScript, and yeah, we've seen most people use it with TypeScript. But the nice thing about the like 4337 spec is that it's just a API endpoint. So we have had like couple developers as well who are working in non-TypeScript environments, and they've just built their own, I would guess, like wrapper around these endpoints. And yeah, as long as you send like uh well-formed data to these endpoints, it will return a response, and you can still plug and play into this whole Core37 ecosystem.
And let's talk a little bit about the future of gas sponsorship in Web3. I think gas sponsorship already takes us significantly to a very good point in terms of user experience within Web3. But do you see any future, like, so beyond, what we're looking at today, which is like gas abstraction and gas sponsorship, do you see anything else changing, say, in the next 2 to 3 years in this space?
For sure. I would say it's like significantly improving, or like more adoption. Mainly just because like right now, most of the user operations that are relayed like throughout all chains and like all networks, I think it's like 80 to 90% of them are sponsored. So sponsored transactions have definitely found like a fit, and it's definitely something that developers want and users also want. And that's yeah mainly why there's been such a huge adoption. I imagine this would continue to stay the same or also increase.
And if devs wanted to get started using Pimlico, should they simply go to the website and sign up for an account, or is there like a Discord channel or a Telegram channel that they can join to get started?
Yeah, so Docs is definitely the way to go. We also have a dedicated like public Telegram channel, and if you run into any issues, like yeah, definitely join this Telegram, and we'll respond like as soon as possible, just to kind of like make the whole experience much smoother. But yeah, our main point of contact is Telegram.
Cool. So thanks, William. And any last things that you would like to share with devs who will be building on Etherlink and who intend to use Pimlico? Any last things that you would like to share with them?
Yeah, definitely reach out. I would definitely recommend the docs, but if you have any questions or anything, we're super open to discussing and helping out. So excited to hear what people are building.
All right. So thanks, William. Thanks for doing this with me. It was good meeting you, and it was good chatting with you about Pimlico. And if any dev is out there thinking about gas sponsorship and gas abstraction for their own end users, you can sign up on Pimlico. They are one of our official partners for Etherlink. And you can get started doing gas abstraction for users of your application. See you next time.